Today I'm continue for the real application cluster installation migration database, the part 4. We are going to create some ASM disk groups, and then we're able to do the worker database migration from the Linux 6 to 7 and also from 11G 12C to 19C. The ASM groups generally is you have all of instance, but this group is shared on here in somewhere, like I show you in the location, and then this one will be created to be the group. This group, it is used file database file. Finally, will be located here. We are on the create ASM groups before we migrate database. In this talk, in this video, there's three parts actually. This from 1 to 3 part. We're using the GUI called ASMCA tools too. So I show you how to do this group, create this group, right? Also, 2-step show you how to add disk to this group. And we create another group, several of the other groups. This is the one way called using the GUI ASMCA. But create this one is if you are really good on SQL side, you can use in database, using SQL to do it. Because there's a database called ASM database. Inside database, you can create there using SQL code. If you're really familiar with the SQL, you probably is always doing that one. Another one is because ASM have a command interface called ASMCMD. You can create ASM disk group the same way. So let's start to see how we do this. We already put in the ASM ones on the node 1, put in the ORA tab files. So you type .oraenv, you're supposed to enter this one, ASM1. You set up environment for you for all of them. And when you did this one, you should be able to see this tools, ASMCA. You type ASMCA and the window started. You click on this, the disk group. By now we only have one. This one we create when we do the great infrastructure installer. And then now we need to create the new one. So you click on the create. The next one we are going to create is a flexible recovery area. So we use FRA as a disk group name. Most people using it. We pre-created 2 disks for it. Let's do one by one. Just do first one created, the second one we add it. So there's a high, normal, external, and flex. It's redundancy. What happening is the external, there's no mirror on the disk groups, but for normal there's a mirror on it. High is probably have a lot of mirrors, but the problem will be this one. If say I'm using 200 GB size, right? You usable space will be 200 GB, but for normal when you mirror it, actually you do not have use as such. Higher, the usable space will be less. So because we have the backup, we're not cares about the mirror here, so we're using external. We'll select the first one, and then when you select the first one, click OK. It started doing it. Depends how many, how the space size. If you say 1 terabyte, it take longer, but usually it's really quick. When it's finished, you will see, okay, we got another one called FRA disk group. Now let's see how we can add disk groups to it. You right click on the FRA here. There's one you see, and the disk group, right? Also, you can do the drop disk. Let's try the AND disk first. The next screen, FRA is popped up. External is already decided. You can do anything with it, and you select this one, the second one. When you select the second one, click on OK. It creates again. By now, the size will be 500 GB. It's 200 GB. By now, the size changed. Everything's external. We can create another one, so we need called the date. The data one is usually what people are naming different ways, data or something. The date FRA and OCR is the most popularly used. And then do same thing, put on the date. You select which disk you're going to use. Another good thing underneath, there is something called hide advised or show advised option. You click on it, and then you can see what is compatibility to do with it, right? So this one is information. Later you probably can see when we use a different way to do it, how to match up this information in the external, FROM, and also compatibility. So now we click on OK. We have this group created, FRA date, OCR. We continue create several of them is for different name disk groups. Finally, we can get all of them for a different way. We're going to use it for different purpose, different DBs. Now let's talk about the other way to create a disk groups. As I mentioned, the way we're just to show you is GUI, ASMCA. But if you want, it's really good on SQL side. Someone is really good SQL scripting people, and then they use to SQL. You can do it in the SQL ASMDB. The same thing you did is your SERP environment. So SQL Plus, you can log in this ASM database. To create disk groups, you use command like here. Group name, you give date. Redundancy, external. And then where is the disk group? A disk you're going to use in this disk group date. Right. And then the same thing you can do for FRA. But things will be how to match up with the GUI. Set up some external compatibility for them. The syntax will be like here, create disk group date external. The name, you can use some names automatically created, but you cannot see it here, but underneath it creates something, checking database. Attribute will be the size FROM, matched FROM, and compatible ASM 19.0, compatible ADVM, this one, 19.0. And you're running this command, you can match what is when you did in a GUI. So this is the way how to do it. Of course, you can do the same thing like you AND the disk or drop disk too. Another way you can do is using a tool called ASMCMD. In order to do this way, what you needed to do is you first create one called XM file. For example, name is create DG XML, right? Inside, you put in the name for date and then where is the location for this disk you chart on. So redundancy external, and then compatible. The ASM's 19.0, ADVN will be 19.0. When you got this file set up, you log in ASMCMD. You just type ASMCMD when you log into it, and then you get this command called make DG file name. It's going to create it for you. So today I'm just to try to show the 3 ways you can create disk groups. Now we're ready for migrate database. See you next time.